All right, guys, I just wanted to do an on this day in history for you. And actually, this is a yesterday in history, but it's one of my favorite, the Ides of March, 44 BCE. I think someone the other day, I think it was in sixth period too, asked if we do any BCE on this days. So I wanted to make sure we did one, even if we don't get to see each other. So on this day, the Ides of March, 44 BCE, and once you start talking about this, you're probably going to have at least heard of what happened on this day. You just might not know that it was called the Ides of March. So, on this day, Gaius Julius Caesar, the dictator of Rome, was stabbed to death in the Roman Senate House by 60 conspirators. This was led by Marcus Junius Brutus and Cassius Lognius. Maybe you've heard there's a Shakespeare play called Julius Caesar, and one of the most famous lines in that play is "Et tu, Brutus." Caesar. Okay, you've heard of Caesar, hopefully, and at the end of the year, we'll kind of get to talk about him when we start talking about Rome. But Caesar was extremely powerful during his lifetime in Rome. He became a dictator. And really kind of, Rome was a crazy place anyway, and he kind of made it that way even more. 45 BCE, he's appointed the consul and dictator. Rome, yes, it had representatives in a senate, but also it had one true leader. He launched ambitious reforms within the empire, and as we kind of learned with what we're talking about in China right now, that could be good or bad, right? And then the most lasting was the Julian calendar. Now, pause for a second. I looked up the Julian calendar because I wanted to make sure I got these facts right. But it was used for a long time in the Roman Empire as well as a lot of Christian churches. However, it was eventually replaced by the Gregorian calendar, which is what we follow today, because the Julian calendar was too inaccurate. It did not properly reflect the actual time it takes the Earth to orbit the sun. So because of that, it was unreliable. So that's why it ended up not being used, but it was one of the most important things that Julius Caesar did. So back to Ides of March. He was assassinated by a group of conspirators. So they were kind of already, if they're conspiring, it means they're kind of planning this and ready to kind of attack behind Caesar's back. They believed his death would lead to the restoration of the Roman Republic. And so that's where the Senate had more kind of control. And it was organized with a body of people opposed to one person. So things had changed a lot in Rome because of that. But it actually plunged Rome into civil war. Oftentimes in Rome, there was no logical way of passing down who would rule next. So what would happen is they would fight, and whoever came out with most victorious is the one that would end up leading the Roman Empire. So after these civil wars, remember, civil war is a country fighting within itself or a region fighting within itself. Caesar's grandnephew, emerged as Augustus, the first Roman emperor. And then with Caesar comes the destruction of the Roman Republic forever, and they will then now become the Roman Empire, where they have an emperor, Augustus Caesar being the first. So hopefully you enjoy your On This Day. I'll be back tomorrow, and the rest of the days with On This Day is for you because I know many of you enjoy this part, and it's just a way for us to kind of touch base. I intend on sending an email or some sort of communication out later today to kind of detail what the future, at least through this week, and the possibility of what next week could look like, barring the decisions made by someone higher up than me. Also, I finally learned some TikTok dances, children. So at some point, we're going to try this Google Meet thing out, and maybe we can TikTok together because that would be fun. Okay, enjoy your Monday. Be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.